Mario Kart Wii!
We're the Mario Brothers, in plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. When your sink is in trouble, you could call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
It's me, Mario. Thank you for calling Super Mario Brothers Plumbing. It's me, Luigi. Oh, mamma mia.
See, you're ready for adventure and reward.
Okay, that's much better now. Me and my brother Luigi and we are a pair of Italian plumbers who were Italian-raised, Brooklyn-born, Italian-raised plumbers that were working underground in Brooklyn to fix some type of water main that busted, because it is our job to save Brooklyn. As you may have heard my brother Luigi say, or you may hear him say later in this video, it is our job to save Brooklyn, and if you need help, you call us anytime. But after being separated, we get separated after being sucked into the warp zone via a warp pipe and end up in the Mushroom Kingdom and the Darklands respectively. With the help of the Princess, Toad, and Donkey Kong Country, we venture to stop Bowser the King Koopa from taking over the world and to rescue my brother Luigi. Now, 30 years in the making, based on the worldwide phenomenon by Nintendo, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is 30 years in the making that brings our favorite pair of Italian native plumbers to life like we've always dreamt of. Believe it or not, this is the third time actually that we have gotten a Super Mario Bros. Movie. After a Japan-only animated film in 1986, and the 93 live-action movie that actually came out 30 years ago, that the majority of fans only remember because we chose to forget it. Yes! Like, if you ask us, do we remember this movie? Yes! That's why we chose to forget it. Do we love it? No, I know. But when it was announced back in 2018 that an animated Super Mario Bros. Movie was in development by Illumination, Nintendo fans had every right to be concerned. Was it going to be some cheap cash grab to expand the brand? Should Illumination be the ones to rightfully adapt this? Now I know they're known for their bright and lively spirits in their films and their optimism in their colors, and that's what makes them notable, but how can the studio, with an animation so generic, adapt something that is this lush, that is this distinct? Now I know on this camera Mario looks lit different, but Mario has always had that same complexion all his life. He's always been that short, mushroom-sized, meek warrior that we've known him to be. So, was it gonna be some cheap cash grab to expand the brand? Should Illumination be the ones to rightfully adapt this? How faithful will the movie be to the video games? Will Nintendo have any part in making this movie? And if so, how much? And how much revenue will they take home? Will it be a worthy partnership between this and Illumination? Luckily, Nintendo fans and Mario fans alike will be getting their mushrooms worth with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, as it was made only for the multi-generational fandom that has been conceived from it. I'm talking your parents, your uncles, your grandparents' grandparents', and your children's children's, and your children after that will all be playing Super Mario at the house someday. We will all be playing Super Mario in every generation. It is a generational tradition that somebody had to pay for in order for you to get all them coins and the mushrooms that you were liking so much. It includes every nit of nostalgia that you are looking for in fan service for us to eat up. And through subtle references, Easter eggs, character designs, soundtrack, and the Mushroom Kingdom. And I'll say they really put all the money's worth and all the budget on Princess Peach because she is beautiful. She is cute. The character designs are pixel perfect because, like I said, the humans in these Illumination films look very skinny, tall, and generic. If you were to make my brother Luigi and me Mario looking the skinny and the thin and the generic, nobody would be purchasing tickets. We'd still be sticking to the games. But luckily, the animation stays faithful to the source material, and the soundtrack is an inclusion of classic Mario themes and a few pop songs for pop's sake, because apparently, Illumination is that one animation studio that always throws some pop in their song, but the only other time that a pop song has been put into good use in an animated film was either by DreamWorks or by Disney. And every single retro detail in the world building is felt, from the Mushroom Kingdom with all these bricks are just floating here to Bowser's Castle, to the Rainbow Road. I mean, I wish I would. The only thing missing on that Rainbow Road is when you drift, that there are Skittles treading those tires. Now, the Donkey Kong Country, which is my personal favorite, because I actually whooped that DK's monkey in Donkey Kong Country. Now, Illumination might not be anyone's favorite animation studio when it comes to the quality, but they are the only animation company that has a track record of treating their demographics like children more than DreamWorks or Disney in recent years. So if you ask us, did we like Illumination in the past? Not really. But did we love the Super Mario Brothers movie? Yes! And Illumination's animated adventures are nothing of high-class quality. And their animation is subjectively generic. So we had a right to be worried about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Then Illumination and Nintendo announced the cast, and this itself was a mixed bag. Chris Pratt's Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Anya-Taylor Joy as Princess Peach, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Jack Black as Bowser, and Mr. Garvey as Toad. Oh, that is a stacked cast. But as with the masses of fans, I was stoked to hear the cast members voicing their respective characters, with half of it being hilarious, like Toad and Seth Rogen and Jack Black, and then the other half being perfect, which is Anya-Taylor Joy as Princess Peach, and Charlie Day as Luigi, and then Chris Pratt as Mario. Call me biased. The biggest controversy of this cast was the legendary outlaw from the galaxy himself, Chris Pratt. Now, I love me some Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt is no stranger to voice acting, but he is the last person anybody would ever cast as Super Mario. We would have not had, in light of this new evidence, we would know that we wouldn't be hearing any Italian gibberish, something like, as is the case with Charlie Day as Luigi. But how was he going to capture the essence of Mario without using the voice we have come to know and love? I mean, Charlie Martinet's in the cast, who has been voicing Mario since day one, but he doesn't voice Mario here. Throughout the marketing, it is obvious that they have written Mario and Luigi to be from New York, sporting Brooklyn accents. We just came from a Dodgers game yesterday. It was amazing. Go check it out. And this does not shy away from the characters like the Shy Guys who took me hostage. It is loosely adapted from the 1989 Super Show, in which we are from Brooklyn and we do get sucked down a warp pipe while plumbing while doing some sewage work. In spite of the video games never being story-driven though, the only other adjustment I would make with this movie, aside from a longer duration, is to have a solid narrative that served as the cherry on top rather than the cake. Because if the narrative was the cake, that means we would have enjoyed the icing and the cherry more, because the icing on the cake and the cherry would have actually been what we loved about this movie. But what we loved about this movie was the nostalgia, was the fan service, it was the animation, and that was all the cake. And the icing on the cake should have been the story at the bare minimum for movie's sake. And aside from that, I probably would have thrown Luigi's Mansion in there. Call me biased. At the time of writing this review, Rotten Tomatoes has given it a 55% recommendation, which they're recommending you to not play any Nintendo Switches or Nintendo Entertainment Systems or Nintendo Wii's from your children's or your children's children. But don't listen to those critics, because those guys are not gamers. The Super Mario Brothers movie is the epitome of nostalgia for Mario fans worldwide to rejoice in. It may be scarce in story, and yeah, it may be scarce in the Ghost and Shy Guys and Dry Bone Koopas, but it is a pixel-perfect video game movie adaptation that mostly benefits from the animation, the voice acting, and the fan service. So because of that, it deserves, I will give it about 90 mushrooms out of 100. And I wouldn't even give 100 mushrooms if it cost me all of the power-ups in the world. But the one power-up it will never cost me is this one right here. Now, if I were to describe this movie in one word, Yahoo!